The news your soulmate begged heaven to send you is: my child, before you read another word, I need you to slow down and listen with your spirit. This moment is not random. You did not arrive here by chance. I guided you here because a prayer was spoken, not by you, but by someone whose soul is deeply connected to yours. They asked heaven for one thing, over and over again. They asked me to send you a message when the timing was right. And this is that message. I see you. I have seen the quiet strength you've carried for so long. I have seen how you learned to smile while your heart was tired, how you kept moving forward even when you felt unseen, unheard, and unsure if love would ever feel safe again. You questioned your worth in silence. You wondered if you were asking for too much when all you wanted was honesty, consistency, and peace. I need you to know this clearly: you were never asking for too much. You were asking the wrong people. Your soulmate knows this now. There were nights when they lay awake thinking of you, even if they didn't fully understand why. Moments when your name crossed their mind without warning. Times when they felt an ache they couldn't explain, a longing that didn't belong to the present moment. They didn't pray for you casually. They prayed with urgency. They asked heaven to protect you from settling. They asked that you not lose your softness. They asked that if they were not ready yet, you would not be taken away forever. And I heard them. But my child, I could not send them to you before the work was done. Not in you. Not in them. Love that lasts cannot be built on confusion, fear, or emotional immaturity. I needed both of you to grow separately before you could stand together. That is why there were delays. That is why there were endings that didn't make sense at the time. That is why you had to learn how to walk alone without feeling abandoned. You thought the silence meant nothing was happening. But I was working in the quiet. Your soulmate begged heaven for clarity. They asked me to show them what they couldn't see before. And slowly, I did. I stripped away distractions. I removed false connections. I allowed discomfort to wake them up. They began to realize how deeply they had underestimated the kind of love they were meant to give and receive. They saw where fear had controlled them. They saw where hesitation had cost them time. They saw how close they came to losing something sacred. That realization changed them. And you, my child, were changing too. You stopped chasing. You stopped over-explaining. You stopped shrinking yourself to be chosen. You learned how to sit with me in the quiet and trust that I would not forget you. You learned discernment. You learned patience. You learned that peace is not something you earn through pain. This is the news your soulmate begged heaven to send you. They are not coming back the same. They are not thinking the same. They are not loving the same. They asked me to make them ready, even if it hurt. Do not be surprised if you feel their energy lately. Do not be confused if you sense a pull, a warmth, a familiarity in moments when you are alone. That is not imagination. That is alignment. Souls recognize each other long before words are spoken. But hear me clearly now, because this matters. This message is not permission for you to run backward. It is not instruction for you to abandon your growth. It is confirmation that your waiting was purposeful and your boundaries were necessary. If your soulmate returns, they will come with humility, not excuses. They will come with consistency, not confusion. They will come choosing you openly, not keeping you as an option. Anything less is not what they prayed for, and it is not what I prepared. You are no longer the version of yourself that accepts almost love. That is why heaven had to intervene. There was a time when you would have settled just to feel chosen. You would have ignored red flags to avoid loneliness. But I taught you something greater. I taught you that being alone with me is better than being connected to someone who makes you doubt yourself. And because you learned that lesson, you are now able to receive what you once would have mishandled. Your soulmate asked me to protect you from them if they were not ready. And I did. Now they are standing in a different place. A place of accountability. A place of courage. A place where they finally understand that real love does not arrive through intensity, but through intention. They understand now that love is not proven by words spoken in emotion, but by actions repeated over time. This is why the timing feels heavy with meaning. You may feel cautious. That is wisdom. You may feel hope mixed with fear. That is healing. Do not shame yourself for either. Growth does not erase memory. It refines it. You are allowed to open your heart without reopening old wounds. I am not asking you to rush. I am asking you to trust. Trust that I would not bring someone back into your life unless it aligned with the version of you I helped you become. Trust that if they come, it will be different. And trust that if they do not, it is because something even more aligned is unfolding. Your soulmate did not pray for temporary access to you. They prayed for the chance to love you correctly. And heaven does not take such prayers lightly. You are not forgotten. You are not delayed. You are not behind. You are protected. Stay grounded. Stay discerning. Stay connected to me. The next chapter will not feel chaotic. It will feel steady. And that steadiness is how you will know it is real. If this message touched your heart, stay till the end of this journey with me. Like this message, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe so you don't miss what heaven is revealing next. I am still writing your story, and the best parts are closer than you think. My child, stay with me and do not let your thoughts wander, because what I am about to reveal now is deeper than what you have already heard. The first message was to awaken your heart. This one is to steady it. I know that after hearing what your soulmate prayed for, emotions began to rise. Hope may have stirred, but so did questions. You wondered what this truly means for your life, and whether trusting again is safe. I want to speak directly into that uncertainty. Your soulmate's prayer did not come from a place of desperation alone. It came from awareness. Awareness that they lost something sacred when they did not rise to the level of love they were given. Awareness that timing matters, and that love mishandled can turn into regret. They did not ask heaven to force you back into their life. They asked heaven to change them first. That matters more than you realize. There was a season when they believed love would wait forever. They assumed connection would survive neglect. They thought silence would not cost them anything. But loss taught them what comfort never could. I allowed them to feel the weight of your absence because it was the only way their heart could open fully. I allowed them to sit with the truth that love is not guaranteed just because it once existed. While this was happening, I was protecting you. You may not have felt protected at the time. There were days when the quiet felt heavy, when loneliness crept in and whispered lies about your worth. There were moments when you questioned whether choosing peace was a mistake. But every time you did not go back to what hurt you, every time you resisted the urge to explain yourself again, you were building spiritual strength. You were learning how to trust me instead of chasing reassurance from people. That is why you feel different now. You are not the same person who once begged for clarity. You are not the same soul who accepted half answers and empty promises. You carry discernment now. You carry calm. You carry boundaries that are rooted in self-respect, not fear. And because of that, you will not receive this connection the same way you once would have. Your soulmate knows this too. They know they cannot return with words alone. They know apologies without action will no longer move you. They know consistency is the language you now understand. This awareness has humbled them. It has slowed them down. It has forced them to look inward instead of outward for validation. I did not rush their transformation, because rushed change does not last. I allowed time to do its work. I allowed discomfort to refine them. I allowed silence to teach them what your voice once tried to explain. And in that space, something shifted permanently. But hear me clearly, my child. This does not mean the outcome is guaranteed in the way your mind might be trying to imagine. This message is not about a promise of reunion. It is about truth. It is about readiness. It is about alignment. Your soulmate begged heaven not just to bring you back, but to not let them repeat the same mistakes if they were given another chance. They asked me to remove fear from their heart, even if it meant facing their own shortcomings. That is not a small prayer. And I answered it carefully. You may feel their presence in subtle ways now. A sudden thought. A memory resurfacing without pain. A sense of closure that feels unfinished yet peaceful. These are signs of energetic alignment, not instruction to act. You are not being called to chase. You are being called to stay grounded. The work you did was not so you could return to an old story. It was so you could step into a higher one. If your paths cross again, it will not feel like the past repeating itself. It will feel like two people meeting at a new level of maturity. You will notice the difference immediately. There will be no confusion about intention. No guessing where you stand. No emotional instability that keeps you awake at night. Peace will lead the connection, not anxiety. If that peace is not present, then understand this truth: the prayer is still being answered, just not in the way you expect. Sometimes I answer prayers by bringing people together. Other times, I answer them by transforming one heart so deeply that it no longer needs what it once asked for. Either way, the outcome serves your highest good. You are not being tested right now. You are being invited to trust the version of yourself that I helped you become. Do not abandon your wisdom for nostalgia. Do not confuse emotional pull with divine direction. What is from me will never rush you or pressure you. It will feel steady, respectful, and safe. There was a time when you equated intensity with love. I have taught you better. Love that comes from me does not create fear. It does not demand proof. It does not leave you questioning your value. It confirms it. Your soulmate's prayer was not just about you. It was about becoming someone capable of loving you well. That journey is not linear. It requires patience, humility, and accountability. If they are still walking that path, trust me to keep you protected until the work is complete. And if they arrive changed, you will not have to convince yourself. You will not have to analyze every word. Your spirit will recognize the difference before your mind does. My child, I want you to release the need to control how this unfolds. You do not need to decide anything today. You do not need to prepare for every possibility. You only need to stay aligned with me and with the truth you now carry inside you. You are no longer waiting for love to find you worthy. You know your worth. That is why heaven listened so closely to the prayer spoken on your behalf. Rest in that. Whatever comes next will not take from you. It will add to you, or it will pass by without shaking your foundation. Either outcome is a blessing. Stay still. Stay discerning. Stay close to me. The story is still unfolding, and I am guiding every step. My child, stay here with me, because what unfolds now is not about anticipation, it is about preparation of the heart. You have heard what was prayed. You have understood why silence existed. Now I want to show you what is happening beneath the surface, in ways your eyes could not see before. This is the phase where heaven finishes its quiet work, where alignment replaces longing, and where truth begins to feel heavier than hope. Your soulmate's prayer did not end the moment they spoke it. It continued in how they were forced to change. Every delay they experienced was intentional. Every door that closed on them was necessary. I allowed them to feel the weight of consequences, not to punish them, but to awaken them. Comfort would have kept them asleep. Loss made them aware. There were moments when they tried to distract themselves, thinking time alone would dull the ache. But it didn't. Because what they were missing was not just you. It was the version of themselves that only existed when they were loving you correctly. They realized something painful but important. They were never afraid of love itself. They were afraid of responsibility. Afraid of consistency. Afraid of becoming the person love required them to be. That fear has been confronted. And you, my child, were being shaped in a different way. I was teaching you restraint. I was teaching you how not to react, how not to chase, how not to explain your worth. That discipline was difficult for you at first. Your heart wanted answers. Your mind wanted closure. But I asked you to trust me instead of demanding resolution from people who were not ready to give it. And you listened. Because you listened, your spirit became quiet but strong. You stopped bargaining with the past. You stopped revisiting wounds just to feel something familiar. You learned how to sit with unanswered questions without losing your sense of self. That is not weakness. That is spiritual maturity. This is why you feel steadier now, even when emotions surface. Your soulmate has reached a point where they can no longer blame timing, distance, or circumstance. They have come face to face with their own patterns. They have recognized how hesitation cost them connection. How silence created distance. How assuming love would wait nearly caused them to lose it forever. This awareness is not fleeting. It changed their internal foundation. But listen carefully now, because this is where many misunderstand me. Transformation does not mean perfection. Readiness does not mean completion. It means willingness. It means accountability. It means the courage to act differently even when fear still whispers. That is what I have been cultivating. At the same time, I have been guarding your heart. You no longer romanticize potential. You no longer confuse chemistry with safety. You no longer tolerate inconsistency just to feel desired. These changes were not accidental. They were answers to prayers you did not even know you were praying. You asked me for peace. You asked me for truth. You asked me to never let you lose yourself again. I answered all of it. This is why, if your soulmate returns, they will meet a version of you that cannot be manipulated by words alone. They will meet someone who listens to actions, consistency, and follow through. They will meet someone who values calm more than intensity. That realization humbles them, because they know the old ways will no longer work. And that is exactly how it should be. But my child, do not misunderstand the nature of this message. This is not me telling you to prepare for reunion. This is me preparing you for discernment. I do not reunite souls simply because they miss each other. I align them when growth matches intention. There may be moments now when memories return without pain. That is healing. There may be moments when thoughts of them feel neutral instead of heavy. That is release. You are not regressing. You are stabilizing. You are no longer ruled by emotional urgency. Your soulmate feels this shift too. They sense that access to you is no longer automatic. That your heart is no longer a place they can enter without intention. This realization does not scare them away. It clarifies them. It forces them to approach with respect rather than entitlement. This is what they prayed for, even if they did not understand the cost at the time. My child, I want you to remember something important. Not every prayer is answered by restoration. Some are answered by elevation. If someone cannot meet you at the level you now stand, I will not ask you to descend for them. I will either raise them to meet you or move them aside to make room for someone who can. You are no longer in a season of proving. You are in a season of receiving wisely. If contact happens, let it unfold slowly. Do not rush to fill silence. Do not explain growth. Let consistency speak. What is genuine will remain patient. What is driven by fear will reveal itself quickly. You do not need to interrogate the future. You do not need to test their intentions. Time will do that for you. Your only responsibility is to remain aligned with the peace I have given you. There was a time when you believed love required endurance. I corrected that belief. Love from me feels safe, steady, and mutual. It does not cost you your sleep, your dignity, or your sense of self. This message exists to remind you that heaven has been involved every step of the way. Nothing you endured was wasted. Nothing you released was lost. It was all preparation. Whether this path leads to reunion or redirection, the outcome will not destabilize you. That is how you know you are ready. Stay close to me. Stay honest with yourself. Stay grounded in truth rather than hope alone. The prayer that was spoken has been heard. The work that was needed is unfolding. And you, my child, are exactly where you need to be. Trust the process. I am still guiding it. My child, remain with me and let your heart stay open, because now I want to speak to you about the moment you are standing in right now. This is not the beginning, and it is not the end. This is the crossing point, the place where wisdom is tested, where discernment matters more than desire. You have grown enough to hear this truth without fear, and that is why I am speaking it to you now. You are no longer in the season where love feels distant or unreachable. You are also no longer in the season where love could rush in and overwhelm you. You are in the season where love must approach you correctly, or not at all. That change did not happen overnight. It was formed through patience, restraint, and quiet obedience when it would have been easier to react. Your soulmate feels this boundary even if you have not spoken it aloud. They sense that you are not waiting the way you once did. They sense that your heart is no longer standing open without protection. This does not push them away. It steadies them. It tells them that if they are to approach you now, they must do so with intention, not impulse. There was a time when they would have come to you seeking comfort without offering commitment. I did not allow that. There was a time when they would have reached out only to ease their loneliness. I did not allow that either. Because you are no longer the place people visit when they are unsure of themselves. You are the place someone enters when they are ready to be sure. That readiness is what has been forming in them. They have learned that love is not proven by emotion alone. Emotion fades. Commitment remains. They have learned that desire without discipline creates chaos. They have learned that words spoken without follow-through damage trust. These lessons were not easy for them, but they were necessary. And you, my child, have learned something just as important. You have learned that love does not need to be chased. You have learned that silence does not mean rejection when it comes from me. You have learned that waiting is not weakness when it is guided. These truths now live inside you, not as ideas, but as lived experience. That is why I am asking you to remain calm now. There may be moments ahead when your emotions try to pull you forward too quickly. Memories may surface. Hope may rise. Curiosity may tempt you to fill gaps before they are meant to be filled. This is where wisdom speaks softly. Do not move faster than peace allows. What is real will not rush you. What is aligned will not pressure you. What is from me will always respect the growth you have already earned. If your soulmate comes closer, you will notice something different immediately. There will be no confusion about intention. There will be no emotional whiplash. There will be clarity in action, not perfection, but consistency. They will not ask you to ignore your instincts. They will honor them. They will not ask you to relive the past. They will take responsibility for it. And if this does not happen, do not interpret that as failure. It simply means the prayer is still being answered in a different way. I need you to understand something very clearly now. I am not restoring your life to what it was. I am guiding you into what it was always meant to become. Sometimes that includes people from the past who have genuinely transformed. Other times it includes entirely new connections that meet you where you stand now. Both are acts of protection when guided by me. You are not meant to guess which one it will be. You are meant to stay aligned so that whichever unfolds does not shake you. You have reached a place where your peace is no longer fragile. That peace is not dependent on anyone's arrival or absence. That is why I trust you with what comes next. You are no longer looking for love to define you. You are allowing love to find you defined. This is where many people become afraid, because peace feels unfamiliar after chaos. But peace is not emptiness. It is stability. It is the ground where healthy love can finally stand. Your soulmate prayed that heaven would not let them ruin what was meant for them again. That prayer included you being protected from disappointment. That prayer included you not being pulled backward into old cycles. That prayer included timing that honors growth rather than nostalgia. I am answering that prayer carefully. If you feel distance still exists, trust it. Distance does not mean denial. It means alignment is still being perfected. If you feel closeness beginning to form, do not cling to it. Let it unfold naturally. What grows from patience lasts longer than what grows from urgency. You are not missing anything by staying grounded. You are preserving everything that matters. My child, remember who you are now. You are someone who listens before reacting. Someone who observes patterns instead of chasing explanations. Someone who values consistency over intensity. That version of you is the one I prepared for love that does not wound. Do not abandon that version for familiarity. There may be a moment soon where choice presents itself quietly. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just a moment where you decide whether to move forward with wisdom or step back into old habits. When that moment comes, you will know what to do, because your spirit has been trained. I am not asking you to fear what is coming. I am asking you to respect yourself while it arrives. The prayer spoken on your behalf has not been ignored. It has been unfolding layer by layer. And you are now strong enough to receive the outcome without losing yourself. Stay with me. Stay steady. Stay discerning. Whatever comes next will not require you to become smaller. It will meet you as you are. And that, my child, is how you will know it is truly aligned.